around the rules a little bit, which is the Maltese Falcon.
Mm. The movie that created Glenn.
I mean, kind of in some ways. The movie that I basically remade when we were like 16.
Yeah,
I think it's a little bit older than
Wa-
that, but yeah.
watching this, it made me realize how much of I'd seen this before, but I was just like, oh, that's in that's in the package from Marrakesh, and that's in the package from Marrakesh.
Honestly, me too. I was like, I didn't realize how much I just stole directly from this movie. Like, just straight up like lifting stuff.
When we were making for the uninitiated, me and Glenn and a few other friends, we all worked on a movie that Glenn wrote and directed called The Package from Marrakesh. That was a noir movie starring teenagers that I am still very proud of.
Me too.
I think that movie slaps. Uh,
I
but
showed it to someone pretty recently, and I was like, "This is like not bad."
and yeah, like I had not seen the Maltese Falcon we before we made the movie, but I feel like
Mhm.
even I recognize some of my own line readings from the Maltese Falcon
Whoa!
somehow, you know?
I think it was just in the air. You know, we were just
Yeah.
riding the wave. But yeah,
What,
pretty good movie.
Glenn, go on about the Maltese Falcon. This I'm gonna leave
Uh,
this one to you.
well, I don't know, Maltese Falcon, I think, is usually cited as kind of the first like canonical, in quotes, film noir movie. Like it's kind of the movie that is usually pointed at like this. There are movies that definitely have film noir elements to them, but this is kind of the one where it's like it all really kind of coalesces into like this is like undeniably a film noir movie. It has like all of the staples you could ask for.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
about a private
It
detective
definitely feels
who
more
meets
like a film
a
noir.
sinister, seductive lady who like gets him into trouble, and it has a ridiculously convoluted plot that makes no sense. It makes sense, but it's like it's so layered with like double crosses and like different people's like shifting loyalties and things that it is having seen this movie, I don't know, probably about 5 times in my life, I'm still just like, wait, what? Like it's still kind of hard to follow. You kind of have to just ignore the moment to moment stuff and just kind of go with it.
How would you say that this is different from other Dashiell Hammett adaptations?
Hmm.
What do you think makes this noir and not the Thin Man?
I definitely tone is a big one because the Thin Man is like very light and very fun and funny, and it is a comedy. I think even the book The Thin Man is like unusually lighthearted for a Dashiell Hammett story.
Hmm.
Whereas the Maltese Falcon, I think this specifically because this is the third adaptation of the Maltese Falcon on film,
Yeah.
and I think this is kind of like the definitive like Dashiell Hammett like film adaptation of like any of his works.
This is
Um,
like this is the made for TV The Shining for Dashiell Hammett.
I mean, sure, in the sense that it's like it's very close to the book, but also
Yeah.
I'm like, what is there a like definitive like Stephen King movie? It's probably not The Shining. It's probably like Carrie or something else. But
It's probably the one with the goblin truck.
oh yeah, Maximum Overdrive. Yes. um, but yeah, it's like of all the Dashiell Hammett stories that have been adapted into movies, this is kind of like the famous one, the one that everyone is most aware of. This is the big daddy of Dashiell Hammett movies, I guess.
For sure. I mean, this is like a stone cold classic. Like
Yeah,
Citizen
yeah,
Kane is definitely more well known, more widely, everyone said it's the greatest
celebrated.
movie
Yeah,
ever made. But like, did you say overrated?
no, it's celebrated, but yeah,
Oh, okay.
I
um,
know.
it's
We'll
no
get to
Sean
it.
Dealman. Um, but the Maltese Falcon is like so famous. It's so iconic.
Yeah,
Humphrey Bogart is never more Bogarty. Uh,
no,
although
yeah,
I haven't seen Casablanca, and I will very
he's
soon.
very
So I don't
Bogarty in
know.
that. Also, The Big Sleep which is a another film noir detective movie with Humphrey Bogart, but based on a not Dashiell Hammett, the other guy.
Michael Crichton.
No, Raymond Chandler. Uh, the Big Sleep is also very good, and like also the sort of thing where it is like in on the Mount Rushmore of uh, film noir movies. Kind of, it's like
I'm looking forward to that. Mount
yeah,
Rushmore.
yeah.
Uh, you say that this is like, I mean, it is definitely not light in any way,
It's pretty
like
nasty.
The Thin Man.
It's pretty mean movie.
There are some parts where I really, I laughed a lot though.
I mean, it's also very funny, but it's like
Like,
the Thin Man is like a drunk married couple solving a crime with their dog, and it's like the crime almost starts to just proceed into the background and becomes more about just them sort of like partying. This, I think, the crime is still this sort of thing where it's like it is so there's so many moving parts to it that you kind of have like trying to follow the mystery really closely is difficult. But definitely the tone of this is much more a classic film noir. Like the world is uh the world is a like dark and mean place, and like everyone will betray you like
yeah,
at the drop of a hat. Yeah. So it's
yeah.
like love is a lie. Like you can't trust anyone.
The parts that are funny in this movie are mainly like moments of extreme cruelty.
Right.
Like
Like most of the jokes in this movie are like very mean jokes, like jokes at someone's expense, where like someone is getting like punched in the face. Right. Like whenever Sam Spade is punching Peter Lorre in the face, which he does several times in the movie, it's always kind of played
or
as a joke. A little
specifically
bit.
like there's a part where there's like the other henchman of the fat man who is like this kind of like sadistic, inexperienced, like very henchman type, and Sam
Mhm.
Spade really has no patience for this guy and doesn't like him. And there's a point where he slaps him, and the guy kind of balks, and then he goes like, "When you're slapped, you'll take it and you'll like it."
Yeah.
And I died.
Yeah. There's a lot of the dialogue in this movie is taken directly from the book, which I haven't read, but I know that like this the script is like very, very close to the book. In particular the dialogue. And it does have a lot of really great film noir lingo in it.
Hmm.
Like saying when he's talking to the cops, he's like, "I won't squawk."
I feel like there are other movies that are more drenched in lingo. Like I'm thinking of like
Sure.
the early
Yeah.
gangster movies where it's just like
Right. Yeah.
all all old timey lingo.
Yeah. Little
Where
Caesar goes really hard on the lingo.
yeah,
And just like also just well written dialogue. Like not even that necessarily like the lingo is that heavy, but like where there's a bit where the femme fatale of this movie, Bridget O'Shaughnessy, is sort of like the first time she's kind of admitting that she's been lying up until this point in the movie. She goes, "It's true, I've always been a liar." And Sam Spade is like, "Well, don't brag about it." He's also Sam Spade is a funny character in that he always seems like he's a little bit ahead of everyone else, and he's very amused about it.
Hmm.
Like
Yeah,
he's usually kind of the smartest guy in the room, and he's if anything like bragging about it half the movie. He's just like, "I know what everyone's deal is, and I'm
yeah.
gonna like
He
play
has
this."
this like he has this vibe about him that is it's like he's shooting from the hip. Like it
Mhm.
feels like he is, but like he always gets it right every time. He always does it effectively is one move ahead of everyone, even though no one can understand what's going on in this movie. Uh,
Yeah,
but like he has this kind of like loose approach to
yeah,
everything in front of him, and he's like so cynical too.
yeah. He kind of responds to everything with just kind of like resigned annoyance a lot of the time. Like even when someone like, pulls a gun on him, he's like, "Ugh, fine." It's like again pulling a gun. I'm like, whatever. Like he
Yeah,
nothing phases him really in this movie.
nothing, and like
It
nothing
sounds
affects him.
boring, but it's like he plays it like so well. Humphrey Bogart is so good at playing this character that it's like the fact that he's kind of so like yeah, like loose and unfazed by things is, I don't know if endearing is the right word, but it at least is entertaining to watch for sure.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. But like this movie is. I feel like this movie has a very cynical perspective, and Sam
Mhm.
Spade has a very cynical perspective. He is so unbothered by so many things, like so
Right.
many things that
Yeah.
should bother him. And so, like, the kind of, I don't know how much we should spoil it exactly, but it's like the ending
It's very
moments of the
summed up by
movie.
the ending. Yeah.
Yeah, the ending moments of the movie are, it's like, asking the question, like, can you be as cold as as you possibly can be?
As
And he's like,
ice.
yep.
Right. Yeah.
Is-
Well, and it's also this. It's kind of a weird thing, right? Where he's like he finds out that so there's spoilers for the end of the Maltese Falcon, a very old movie. That Bridget is the person who shot his partner Miles at the beginning of the movie, and it's like he didn't even like Miles. He was like sleeping with his wife and thought he was like a dumb asshole. He like didn't want anything to do with him really. But it's like he says it's like, well, someone like murders your partner, you have to like make sure that they don't get away with it. That's just like the rule, the unspoken detective rule.
yeah. It's
Um,
weird that, like, there are some ways that he clings so much to principles and, like,
mm,
codes, where, like, through a lot of the movie he is doing things that you might consider to be pushing the limits of ethical behavior,
yeah, yeah,
but then there are, like, certain things that there are certain things that places where he draws a line, but then there are also places where toward the end of the movie he says something to the effect of, like, I'm not as unethical of a person as you think I might be, like,
mm,
he does live by some codes, in the big picture. In a moment he's definitely willing to do bad things.
yeah, yeah. But I mean, that's what makes him like a film noir character, right? Like that's like the whole
Yeah,
thing is that he's not a very good person. He's like kind of a piece of shit, and that's
yeah.
like a big reason of I think what makes him kind of compelling. Like that ending scene of him and Bridget in the apartment, like after all the sort of like right there's the whole MacGuffin, right, with the titular Maltese Falcon, which is very much a
Yeah.
MacGuffin in the sense where it's like everyone wants it, but it's like very unclear, almost like even what it is until pretty late in the movie. It's a Falcon statue that turns out to maybe just be a fake, probably. Even that is like kind of ambiguous, as is like I think a lot of Bridget's sort of headspace and like motivation, because it's like she starts the movie playing very much like playing a sort of like a very sort of innocent, wide-eyed woman who just wants to find her sister, and then admits she never had a sister. She's just doing this to get Sam Spade to help find the Falcon and to like get him out of the way and all this stuff. And I like how much the movie never like really explicitly lays out how much she's ever sort of like putting on an act. Like even at the end when she's like, "Are you really gonna like send me to jail, even though you didn't even like this guy that I shot?" And it's like we got away with it. Like it's fun. Like the cops have their fall guy. Like everything is settled, and now it's just up to you if you want to just like throw it all away. And it's like on one hand that might be her genuinely having like caught feelings for Sam Spade, and that's a very believable reading of the movie. Is that they actually do feel some genuine romantic attachment to each other. But then
Yeah.
it's also kind of it's kind of up in the air. Like she might still be conning him, and it's like the
I
fact that
don't know if
it's
it's.
very like uh, I like how ambiguous it leaves it. I guess
Mhm.
because it makes that scene like have a lot feel like it has a lot of layers.
Yeah, right. Like, is it that she's still conning him and he's still one move ahead, and so he knows that he has to send her up the river? Or is it that he is so bound to his principles that
Mhm.
he is willing to let genuine love go away? He has, through the whole movie, not shown much respect for feelings, for
Yeah.
love in
He's
particular,
been
but like
outright,
feelings
like,
in general.
dismissive of feelings. He's been like, "Feelings are dumb, and I don't like them."
Yeah, yeah, like he is cruel to people whose husband just died. He's cruel
Yeah.
to people who you know,
For people whose
claims
husband
who
he's just died that he was also having an affair with.
yeah. uh yeah, it's interesting. It's an interesting dynamic for sure. And it also comes as a bit of a surprise at that point in the movie, because like
Yeah.
you've watched him do all this unethical stuff, and then he kind of like winds the script back a little bit, and he's like, my two things that I will not budge on are no stealing and you got to avenge your partner, you know.
Yeah.
Like that's those are the only things that he really cares about.
Yeah. And it's even I feel like even when he says that, he feels sort of like annoyed about it still. He's like, "Oh, you murdered my partner. Like that's the one thing I can't budge on. Even though I thought my partner was an idiot and I was sleeping with his wife. Like that's his rule. He set a rule for himself and he has to stick to it, I guess."
uh Speaking of the partner being an idiot, I think there's like a really great moment of kind of film language irony right at the beginning of the movie, where his partner goes out to investigate this whole thing at the very beginning,
Mhm.
and the scene in the PI office ends with him going like, you got brains, like you got brains, you're real smart.
Mm.
And then it just cuts right to him getting snuck up on and shot, you know. Like
Right. Yeah.
it's it's
You got
it's a
brains, Miles, and then cut to Miles like having a goofy smile, getting shot in the chest. Yeah.
yeah, I thought that was really good. One other kind of note with this movie, there is the extremely iconic line from this movie. Someone asks
Mm.
about the Maltese Falcon, and he says, "It's the stuff that dreams are made of." Uh,
The line that I undercut in the package from Marrakesh by having someone start to say it and get cut off.
that's good. That's good. I wonder if it's like a bit too cute to be in this movie. You know, it feels like a.
Hmm.
I think it's very iconic, but I wonder if it's like a bit of a weird note to end on, because it's like, why would you say that?
It is a little bit. It feels like a line of dialogue more than something someone would actually say, maybe.
Yeah.
But I do like the ambiguity of it and the way that he says it too, where it seems like he knows something, and you're like, what did he mean by that? You know?
Right. Yeah.
Because I think that the clearest read of it is just that it's like it's the thing that everyone wants, and so like it has meaning because people ascribe meaning to it, you know, even if it is like a fake hunk of lead.
Hmm.
Or maybe he's like, you know, I did a switcheroo and I have the real thing. I had the real thing this whole time. Who knows? You know.
Right.
A couple of things I want to bring up about this movie. One that last scene, the like confrontation between Spade and Bridget. I for my directing class at Brooklyn College, I need to pick a scene to like reinterpret or whatever. I'd like pick a scene from a movie to film with actors and like shoot it myself. And I was like, what's a good scene of just dialogue? I was like, that's what I'm gonna be of like a scene of just people talking on something with really juicy dialogue. So I picked that scene from this movie. And so that I don't know. I've directed that scene with actors, and it was very fun and cool to do. I didn't really. I mean, it's definitely different than how it is in this one, but I didn't have any like big take on it. I guess the other thing I feel like we got to talk about is the villains in this movie are just such like feel like very classic like movie villains.
Gotta hand it to them.
Like Sidney Greenstreet, great. It's just his voice is like such a feels like a very like classic movie villain voice. of his little chuckle.
I
And
mean, speaking of classic movie villain voices,
also Peter Lorre,
Peter
the most
Lorre,
classic
yeah.
movie villain voice of them all, maybe. One of the first things I ever saw Peter Lorre in was this movie, which he's very good in and very funny. He's definitely playing a kind of a more of a caricature in this than in a lot of other things. I think actually, if anything, rewatching it this time, I'm like, oh, his character is like pretty doesn't have a lot of depth to it. It's like a pretty broad kind of like stereotype character, if anything.
Mhm.
That I think Peter Lorre gets a lot out of because he's Peter Lorre and because he gets to say things like "You imbecile, you idiot," and it's so good. But yeah, he just gets beat up a lot.
Do you think to a British person the name Peter Lorre sounds like Mike
Peter
Truck?
Truck, maybe yeah, Peter Lorre, Mike Truck, yeah, I guess possibly. It's also funny to see Peter like I don't know if we watched another Peter Lorre between this and M for the show, but like in M, he's like,
The man who knew too much.
oh yeah, which he's kind of playing like a James Bond villain in that, I guess.
Yeah.
But like in M, he's like it's like such a dramatic, like intense role, and in this, he's like a goofy stereotype character, which is kind of it's just funny to see like the progression of that. He does both very well. He's a good actor.
I mean, are these characters kind of new types of characters in this movie? Maybe. Like, are they arch in their own way? Like, yes, Sam
Yeah,
Spade is arch as well.
sure, yeah. And that is part of the fun of this movie too. Of like
Yeah.
the femme fatale is like the most femme fatale character that like you could put in a movie. It's like I feel like a lot of noir cliches are very kind of rooted in this and several other. There's a couple others that are like really. Double Indemnity is another really big one. Out of the Past is another really big one. We should probably watch those for the show also. But yeah, I mean, I stole a bunch from this movie because it's good, and it just has so much like great like hardboiled detective shit in it of like switching cars, losing tails, and he gets slipped a Mickey at one point. Which
Hmm.
any good detective story, someone's got to get slipped a Mickey, right? Um,
just like the package from Marrakesh, right?
yeah, exactly. I also like how at the end of the movie they're sort of like they're waiting for the package to show up that's supposed to have the Maltese Falcon in it, and it kind of everyone it's like all right, they like set up the whole plan, and then it like cuts like later in the night, and everyone's like sleeping or like reading books on the couch, and it's just like a big sleepover with all these like noir characters like reading books silently. That I don't know, that just stuck out to me. It's very funny. And then yeah, it ends with Bridget going in the elevator getting taken away by the cops, and then the it's got the old timey elevator door that closes shut, and it's like a jail cell. Get it? Get it? It's like you're going to jail, and the elevator
Oh,
door closes.
I guess I needed that to be spelled out.
Oh
I
really?
guess I needed.
I was like, wow, symbolism movie, subtle much.
No, I mean, I guess what I was saying is that it's like, yeah, we know she's going to jail.
Right, yeah. The symbolism of her going to be taken away to jail is that she's going to jail. But it's like that sort of thing where if this was set in contemporary times, it wouldn't work because like elevator doors don't have like the like accordion thing that
I
closes.
think there are still some elevators like that kicking around somewhere.
There are a few, but
Probably.
they're pretty rare. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. What there's a lot of talk of Istanbul, which always makes me laugh because I think of Dangeresque from Homestar Runner.
Of course.
Yeah, cool and good movie that yeah, I agree is has just kind of I feel like kind of become part of my identity at this point of like I like old timey detective stuff, and this is like one of the most old timey detective movies that exists.
Yep.
And was the first one
This
that
is.
I saw. Like I saw this before I saw really I think any other of the classic era noir movies. So it made an impact on me.